Hello everyone, today I'm going to be showing you how to do Molob's typo. The example I'm using is his la 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 edit. You can see the text. It's 3D text. So I made the 3D animation pack first to kind of accommodate for this tutorial because I'm too lazy to animate each text, so I made the animations previously. So I've marked out when the the words are said and when I want them to animate. So I've just animated it in the I put the marker in the middle of the animation because that's usually how it will be. So I put that there. And then what I'm gonna do is cut up each section where it's moving. There we go. Just gonna try and remember, so it's in the middle, covering my ears. Okay, no problem. So I've cut them up because I'm going to select all of these, put it in a nested timeline. And so because it's been cut up where I put the markers and we don't have the audio in the nested timeline, I can then just remark it where I want it to be. Like this. And there we go. Now, if you've noticed, whenever you use a nested timeline, it can sometimes crash when you're switching tabs. So what you just do is open your where you would open a project file, and then reopen the timeline. And when it does that, it acts as an actual project file instead of just a nested timeline, so that it's not going to crash if you switch to another tab, and it's going to be completely fine. So let's do this. I'm just going to do... I like to write the lyrics in the markers of where I want it to be because I end up forgetting it. So it's a lot easier if I write them down here. That's just me though. There we go. Okay, now we're gonna add... We're gonna add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tabs. Tracks, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are going to be where the text is. So then you're going to add another one for the parent track. The very top track is going to be the parent track. So just make sure you have all the tracks you need. Yep. Then you're going to select the second bottom one, the second to top one here. Not the top one, just this one. Scroll down. Hold shift and then select the bottom one here. And then what you're going to do is just press the child icon here, and then it's going to parent it to the next clip. The next track, I mean. And then, so each track is going to be one transition. So the first transition is like a zoom in. So that would be this parent track here. And then the second transition is to my for the first marker. So this is going to be the second transition. Third transition, fourth, fifth, and maybe add a sixth one just in case. So if you're just confused, just pause and rewatch. It's completely fine. This is the wrong resolution, why is it like that? Anyway, so now you have all these that are going to be parent tracks, so what you do this time is you select the parent track here, and then go all the way to the bottom again, holding shift. And what you're going to do is you're going to parent the parent track like this. So you're going to make the parent track a compositing child, but it's still parented to here. And now that is parented to this one. And you're just going to keep doing that. So you're going to select the other one because everything else is still selected. So just select the other one with Control, press that icon, and then just do the rest. And each parent track will be for a transition. You don't need this many, and I did that, so see, none of it's selected anymore, so if you end up doing that, that's just messed it up. So what you have to do is select the top parent track again, go to the bottom again, and then just make it a compositing child, like this. Just make sure you don't make that mistake, or if you do, just correct it immediately. Okay, now I'm going to select everything, make sure this is 3D Source Alpha here, as well as this at the side here. This is the 3D cam. Like, this is the 3D camera, and then this is the track camera. You want to always click the 3D camera if you're doing the transitions there. So we're going to click that. Okay. And now we have to get our text. So I'm going to do just an empty event. You don't really need anything. So this is going to be for our first text, which is my... I'm not going to bother doing the covering, that's way too long. So we're going to go Title Studio. This will be... I'm not going to show doing the animation all that much. This is why I made the animation text. It's free, you can just download it, I uploaded it recently. You just open the project file and save the animations like here, or you can use the XMLs and put them in OFX presets section. So I'm just gonna try and find the one I wanted. Might skip ahead if I have to. Yeah, this one's nice. I always like this one. So we're gonna do that animation. So for context, this animation that is stretching outwards, that is for zoom ins. And then the one that comes inwards, like the other way around, is for zoom outs. So the stretching outwards one is zoom ins like this, and then if you have one that stretches inwards like that, like this way, then that would be for a zoom out, because it follows the motion. But this time, for this one, it is going to be a zoom in, so it's going to be this animation. So I'm going to do this one first. I'm just going to quickly see if I do have any ones that are the other way. I think I did. Yeah, so there's one the other way, and I can just change it to black when I need to. Unless there's some other ones that are black. We don't have to do black. I have a bunch of different textures. If you don't have these textures and it's just like pitch black or something, if you open it with launch UI window, when you open it, it's going to ask you if you want to replace the texture, which I put the textures in the pack, so you just press replace the file, and then just do the exact same one I gave you, or just extract the textures right into your downloads, because that's where I put them. You can just put them here in your downloads. So yeah, let's do that. It doesn't matter which one I take, so I'm going to take the colour, but I want that one for now. But we're going to do this text first. So what I'm going to do is click on the camera here. It's going to pop up here. Some people dock it into the window, but I just prefer letting it be free. So just for like reference, this is making it bigger and smaller, and then this up here is the actual camera. So if you click the top middle one once and use your arrow keys, this is moving it forward on the camera. You can see here it's moving it forward on the actual camera, and this is moving it back. So right now I put it behind the clip in terms of 3D, and then I brought it back up again with my left and right arrow keys. So I'm just going to bring it forward a little bit and then shrink it. I'm just going to let it animate itself. We're going to want to put it over here. So it's gonna go over there real quick. Like that. First, we're gonna sort out the specifics in a second, but what I'm gonna do is change it to I'm gonna change the words. And I put it to sample because it's 5 letters, and you can take away a letter or keep a letter, whatever you want. I'll show you how to do that now. When it loads, that is. There we go. Just open it. So if you want to just get rid of them, you can just right click and delete, or you can just press this to just make it invisible. I want the 2 middle letters because I'm doing my, so that's already 1 letter. I need uppercase. I want my in the middle. Yep, there we go. And then the rest I'm just going to make disappear like this. Very simple and easy. And if you don't like the lighting switching like that, you can always just go to here, the scene 3D render right up here, and then go to controls and then lights, and that's where that is, but I like it, so I'm keeping it. Now, if you'd notice the animation, it's very kind of stiff and not all that good looking. You've probably noticed. Okay, so what I'm going to do is... Well, I would have made it on a... Okay. I would have made it into a nested timeline, but I can't because it's an empty event. That was my mistake, so I'm just going to change something really quickly. Because when you add 3D text on anything, it just makes it disappear. So I'm just going to bring an image here. Just a random image I have, which I took a picture of Molob's edit. And I'm literally just going to copy and paste it onto that clip, and then boom, it's disappeared. But now, I can make this into a nested timeline here. Yep, I'm not going to bother opening and closing the nested timeline, because all I'm going to do is Twixtor the 3D text. So Twixtor, I'm going to use the frame Twixtor method. Just do it as far as you need to. Let's go to 20. All the way at the end. There we go. And then if I remember my animation, the marker was around here. So what I'm going to do is, instead of doing a normal graph like this, I'm going to do this graph. I'm going to kind of envision the marker being around here, which is here, so that the movement starts fully animating around that marker, but it still animates a little bit before, so it like slowly and then it carries on. So that's what I'm going to do with this. So if I press apply, if I pre-render it real quick. Should be good enough. See, it's a lot quicker and smoother. So we're going to do that. And then we're going to go back. And then it's now animated quicker. Okay, so now we've animated this text. It seems to have moved from its spot, so I'm just going to put that back. Do this. If you want to, you can also rotate the text like this. So I'm just going to keep it there. If you notice I keep moving the keyframe back, it's because there's already a default keyframe there. So if I didn't move it back, then it would kind of just animate itself like that, and I don't want that. You can also just delete the first one. It's up to you. So there we go, that's the first one. And now it's literally just repeat until you have what you want. So I'm gonna bring that image back. It's way easier for me. I just deleted something. What did I delete? Okay, so I'm gonna go bring that image. It doesn't have to be like a specific image, it's literally just random. And I'm gonna end it. So I'm gonna start it halfway between the my and is marker, and then I'm gonna end it around here. Because if I just did it here, then you won't be able to smoothly integrate it in or fade it in, whereas if you start it before the marker, but not all the way back here, but like in between the markers, then it will go smoothly, and that's what you want. So I'm just going to copy and paste the animation I saved earlier. I want it to animate the other way. Which... yes. That's what I want. So I'm just going to quickly change the texture because I just want it to be black underneath. If you don't know how to do that, well, now you can follow. So underneath is the bottom S. So we're going to go black. And then just double click. It's very simple. Covering my ears. We need ears. So we're going to get rid of the S. E-A-R-S, and we're going to get rid of the E on the end, and then we're just going to change the letters of everything else. So E. There we go. If you think the some of the letters are turned too far, you can adjust it if you just click on the end keyframes and adjust it how you want it. I want it more this way, so I'm just going to change that, and then I'm going to copy and paste what just changed onto the one underneath as well, because we want them to be the same. There we go. Did not? No. Okay, I guess it doesn't do anything. What was it? 11:53. 11:53. Okay, it's not changing. There we go. And then if you want it to be brighter, because I want it to be brighter because it's not that, like, you can barely see some of it. So I'm just going to increase the intensity of the lighting. There we go. Should be all good. Now this is animating the other way, but we're going to be zooming out with this, I'm pretty sure. So I'm just going to move this over here because I need the animation to be like that. So what I'm going to do is move this forward on the camera. It's going to be around here. Take away the first keyframe. Move it a bit more forward, but then we're going to make it smaller. There we go. Is it still too dark? I think it is still a bit too dark, so I'm just going to make it a bit more brighter. Or what you can do is add, hue shift. Hue set bright. And just increase the brightness of it. There we go. So you can see more of the actual white. Okay, I'm just going to move this back into position, which was around here, and now I am going to Twixtor it again. So we're going to bring this back into a nested timeline. Like this. Twixtor. And just do the same process over and over again. So go with this. 20. There we go, and I'll probably just use the same graph, to be honest. Lovely. Then we're going to go back. It's reset itself again, that's my problem. I'm just going to move it forward on the camera. And position it right around here. Depends how big or small you want it, it's really up to you. Get rid of that first keyframe that's over here. So I'm just gonna do the transitions for these two first, just kind of show you the process. So we have these two texts here. I am gonna fade it in, so the reason why I started it beforehand is so you can fade it in, and then also fade it out if you want to. Or you can keep it on and just blur it. Like if you wanted to keep it on throughout the entire thing, you just have to blur it, but I'm gonna fade mine out, that's what I prefer. So I'm gonna do that. What I'm gonna do is start at the very first parent track, and you'll probably end up going to clicking this one by mistake. You want to click this one on the left where it is a cube. I'm just going to move my graph somewhere else because I prefer accessing it a lot easier over here. So I'm just going to put it, I'm going to dock it over here somewhere. There we go. Trimmer isn't needed. There we go. I'm going to prepare my first graph, which is this. So my first transition isn't going to be towards the text. It's literally just going to be zooming in on the clip over like this. So what you're going to do is use your arrow keys to zoom in with the camera. You can zoom in just by the size, but I personally just prefer using the camera. Really up to you on that regard. But I'm going to do this, and then just I'm going to zoom it down a bit like this, focusing more on his like torso here. I'm just going to zoom that in a teensy bit, not a lot, just a little bit to start off the animation. Now if you press these down arrows you can see the keyframes a bit more, so I'm just going to do it after halfway. You can do it all the way over there, but I'm going to do it around here. Don't end it like literally halfway, do it after halfway at least. Then what you're going to do is click to track, parent motion, and then graph it. So that's our first transition. Now what we're going to do is place a keyframe right here, just move it a second, and then you can see it down here. So we're going to place a keyframe in the middle of your first transition and your marker, and then we're going to move it. We're going to place the second marker around here, pull it in with the arrow keys. You can also drag it, but arrow keys gives you more control. And I'm just going to move the location over here. over to my... There we go. Now, what I'm actually going to do is put it all the way to the end of the next marker, just because it's kind of small, there's not much space for you to do it. And so there's going to be a keyframe here and a keyframe here, but the marker is in the middle. Always make sure your marker is in the middle and that your keyframes are surrounding the middle like this, so that you can do this graph here. Whereas if you imagine the midpoint here, that's where your marker would be. If your marker's more to the left, then you bring this more over here, etc. So we're just going to do this because the graph seems quite tight in that edit, so we're going to do that. You have to make sure to reselect your track so it always tells you parent track motion. So could do that. See, it's quite smooth right now. What you can do, I'm gonna do Control-Z, you can rotate it if you want to rotate it like with the text. So if I wanted to, I could rotate it like that. Just to give it some more flair and interest. There we go. And now we're gonna go up to the top and another parent track. And it's literally, you're just layering it and layering it and layering it until you get what you want. So I'm starting this again, like over here, making sure my marker is in the middle at all times, and then I'm going to end it like over here. Actually, because it's more of a shorter transition, I'm going to bring this more over here and then end it here. And now we're going to bring the camera out. Now you just got to be careful here. I'm going to bring the rotation back. Like this. Yep. There we go. Yeah, I'm going to do it like that, and then we're going to add the graph again. Because it's more to, because the marker is a little bit more to the left, I'm just going to bring this more this way. And that should be like this. If I just pre-render it real quick. Go. So that's how you do that. You can so I'm not going to do the entire animation because it's just repeating itself after that. You just place your text, change the animation if you wanted it to, place it where you want, and then do your transition. That's all it is. So I'm just going to show you some adding extra stuff to make it look a bit better. So I'm going to up the preview just for a second. Then we're going to do Ignite Superglow. This makes it look great, in my opinion. If it wants to load. So you're going to add Ignite Superglow. You have to up the threshold, because the less the threshold is, the more it affects the black color or the grey color that's on it. You don't want that. I think you'd prefer it to just affect the white. Just ignore that notification. I just want it to affect the white like this. There we go, that looks great. And then some other cool effects is, hold on, I'm just gonna add the glow to this text first. It saves me adding it later. Gonna add the glow to that text. So another good effect which surprised me personally was edge lighting on text. Actually, BCC edge lighting, I used it in my Gojo text. It might not look that good here, but it's worth trying it out. You ignore the shadows. Place this beneath. Take away the blur. Just give it a little bit of highlight intensity, and then what you can do is just literally change the direction of the light and kind of animate the light like that. Just, it looks a bit more cool. So I just did a small animating like that. And then there, that's how it looks like with some edge lighting if you wanted that on. Completely up to you. I think what I will do is only add a little bit of this, I don't want a lot. Then you can also add stuff like rays and stuff like that, so. Just trying to get a little bit, there we go. I'm actually just going to copy and paste that onto here. Now, if you keep like lowering the threshold but it's not getting it like bright the way you want to, you can again just increase the brightness with hue shift, because you can't really get it that bright with just normal 3D text, so you just increase it, because hue shift increases the brightness like of the highlights, and that would be the whiter bits. So I'm just going to increase the threshold of that, copy that onto here. There we go. And okay, so rays, very good for these. You could do BCC plus rays. This is on a newer version of BCC, so that might be why you don't have it. It's completely fine if you don't have it. You just have to download it, which I have. I can give you links in my server if you wanted. So this is cool if you increase the threshold and the length. Just gives you something nice to add. Like that. Same with these. If I go here. Oh, did it take away the animation? It did. Lovely. I have to redo the animation again because Vegas crashed. Yay. Just gonna... You can see the text instantly looks better with those rays on. There we go. There we go. So instantly it looks better. You can add drop shadow if you really want to as well. That's up to you. I would add it beneath the rays so it doesn't add that much of a thing. But above the glow. So beneath the rays but above the glow. Add it however you want to. that one's up to you as well. And now people keep asking me the ghosting kind of effect I do. That is called temporal blur. Now, if you don't have the higher versions, you can just use an adjustment track for this. You can use an adjustment track, or you can use an adjustment event. It works either way. And what I'm going to do is just add it in between the markers right here. Preferably evenly though. So I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to get BCC temporal blur. Click on that. This is the same as CC wide time, I'm pretty sure, on After Effects. So you're just going to get these, you're going to animate the amount of frames. There we go. So the default amount of frames is 2. Keep the middle one as 2. The first one, change it to 0. Then all the way at the end, change that to 0 as well. You can extend it if you really want to. You can extend it all the way over here. And then we could also just change this to 1 if it's too much. You can take away the blur, or at least like less of it. Yeah, keep that to caution. Then you're gonna do that. The first one you don't really have to graph. You can graph it. You're just gonna stick it to slow fade. Stick that to fast fade. It depends how it looks to you. For the second, I might just do like a tiny graph over here and set that to temporal blur. Yeah. And you can see it does that little frame blur in between just to make the animation even smoother. Then I'm gonna copy and paste it above a new track. I just kind of line it up the same way I did here, so I don't have to just, you know, repeat. So if I just pre-render this now, it should look like 10 times better at least. You can see the frame blur.
To protect your soul. You don't know what goes on behind these eyes. You don't know the loneliness hidden inside. You don't know I wanna eat you up alive. Come and get to know me, my type of wild. I'm the kind that spins you and hangs you dry.
You can also add a camera shake with literally just S shake. I'll show you how to do that in a second. So here's the text. Looks great. See, that already looks great, doesn't it? Now if you want some shake, like I said, just add an adjustment track or adjustment event. Again, depends on you. I just prefer using the adjustment events. And then you go to shake or S shake and just literally get one with some tiny values. This is just how it's set here. But then increase the Z distance a teensy bit, literally just a teensy bit. Lower it a little, just keep it like that, and then it will set a little camera shake for you. Some lens blur also looks pretty good with this as well, so again, just adjustment event, add some lens blur with some brightness maybe. But this is just the general gist of how you would do it. There we go. Just makes it even smoother. It looks way better like this. You can also add RSMB, because right now there's no motion blur really on it, but you can add RSMB or BCC motion blur. Just anything really. Anything would work. And yeah, I hope this answered some questions to the one who asked me to do this. And yeah, I literally just download the 3D camera pack, the 3D text pack. Will help you out so much. So yeah, I hope this is good for you. Is there anything else? Not really, unless you want to blur the clips. Like, hold on, let me just drag this back to the normal length it was meant to be. There we go. So, for example, if I'm going to add some lens blur to this clip that's beneath. So if I do lens blur OBS, this is the last thing. Not a lot, just like 10. If we do that here. But then I go to ears, place the default keyframe here at 0 at the start of the marker, and then here I blur the clip behind it as it focuses more on the text. You can do this with the clips as well, just to give it more depth. And then if it went to like over here, then I would just take away the blur like that. So start the blur. So if I just graph it real quick, it would be very, very small graph, not that big. There we go. We take a look at that again.
Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side.
There we go, and we've blurred the back so it focuses more on the text. This really depends on what you're doing. But yeah. I personally don't like it on this, but you can use it however you wish. And yeah, this is literally the end of it. You probably don't want to sit through me doing each text and animating it and twixtering it. Like, that's it. Altogether it does get time consuming, but this is just showing you how to do it with two words and stuff. So yeah, I hope this was helpful, and have a good day.